"We have a bird in the left engine." I heard the terrifying words from our captain. In the same moment, I felt a strong shake and a terrifying lean on the left side of our tiny 8-seater jet. Seconds later, masks dropped from the ceiling and a smell of rubber filled the narrow passenger cabin where I was serving as a flight attendant. It was June 12, 2002, at night, as we were taking off after a summer storm from Freetown in Sierra Leone, a tiny nation on the West African coast. As the masks dropped, I realized that I did not have to wear it because we were at quite low altitude, and that was the good news. The bad news was that we were at low altitude and we were losing it fast. I found myself in the cabin with our single passenger on board. I got into the first seat available, strapped myself in, looked at him, and said with a faint smile, "This is what the captain is trained for." Really, just trying to convince myself. My thoughts are racing. Is this it? Just like that? Is this the end? Everything was happening so fast, and I could hear the intense work that was happening in the cockpit, and the captain communicating to the ground services. "Do you have a fire engine?" "Yes, we need it." "Turn on the runway lights." "Yes, we need it." What followed? It felt like a movie. Shaky descent, turning around over the poorly lit runway, bumpy landing, heart in the stomach, and exhale. I couldn't believe my luck. The moment the airplane stopped, I ran to the exit, and never in my life opening that door felt more amazing. My eyes were wide, my heart was racing, and in that moment, I felt fully alive. And I vowed to myself that I will change my life. And do you think that I kept that promise? Well, of course not. After a few days of full gratitude and bliss, I reverted right back to my guilt-ridden, partially insecure, partially mature old self. See, the bird's moment was a potentially life-transforming moment for me, but I did nothing about it, nor did I know where to start. And just like me, so many of us are secretly fantasizing and waiting for something to happen outside of themselves to give them a permission to change. Like an illness, but not like real illness, just the right amount, right? Or a disaster, but not the real disaster, but just enough to snap them out of their settled unhappiness, to save them from themselves. So, if this is you, waiting for something out there to happen, to magically come in and to shake you out of your fear and doubt, let me break it to you. It's not going to happen. I've been there. Change truly only starts from within, and it starts with the decision. By now, you're probably wondering, well, Leo, why did you want to change so badly? Well, let me introduce myself. Hi, my name is Lionela. I am a professional life coach, and I do many things. But I'll share one piece of information with you. I am a RPPP, recovering professional people pleaser. Recovering because I am no longer a people pleaser yet. I have to stay vigilant because the pattern resurfaces from time to time. professional because at the height of my addiction to pleasing, I made shape-shifting an art and a science. And people-pleasing, I'm not going to explain. I'm sure you know what I mean. The sad part was that I hid my addiction to people-pleasing, and I did it so well that I hid it from myself. I had no idea I was people-pleasing. I thought I am agreeable and peacekeeping. But the truth was, I was constantly trying to manipulate people to like me and approve of me because I didn't like nor approve of myself. The moment that helped me see the truth of my life was when I got caught in a room at a party talking in a circle to 3 people for whom I had 3 distinct personas for. I can't tell you, that was a confusing experience, a rude awakening, as I call it. But looking back, that was one of the best moments of my life. And from there, I made a firm decision to change. And with a lot of work, I did. I let go of the people-pleasing behavior, and I became my own best friend. And in the process, I learned 3 important lessons. I learned how to be honest with myself. I learned how to be self-aware. And I learned how to govern myself. One of the amazing things about being human is that no matter where we start, we have this incredible capacity to fully step out of the darkness of living an unconscious life and fully into the light of awareness. From there, I started asking myself different questions. What if I had this awareness earlier in life? My life would have been dramatically different. What if this awareness were to be taught in schools around the world? So many other people's lives would have been dramatically different. In my case, I just really wish it happened sooner. So here's my one big idea. The skill that they don't teach us in school is how to communicate with ourselves. And embracing that skill early in life has the potential to transform our world. Being human means learning how to become our own best friends throughout the life journey. And one way we can do that is by learning how to communicate with ourselves. So many of our nonsense fears and doubts are born from this acute misunderstanding of ourselves. It's like living with a stranger. It makes no sense. So back to the 3 things I learned, the 3 lessons. When I became honest with myself, I started seeing my true value. I realized what my life mission was, and I found deep meaning in my life. I realized that I am truly connected to myself and others, and I am never really alone and always supported. When I became self-aware, I learned how to listen to myself with kindness and empathy. I learned how to communicate to myself with encouragement. I learned how to self-soothe in healthy ways without people-pleasing or my digital devices or junk food. When I learned how to govern myself, I learned how to cheer myself on through my life journey. I learned how to see myself on top of my mountain before I even start the climb. Because being human also is striving to live a life at our highest potential. By the way, let's see. Any RPPPs in the room by a show of hands? All right, congratulations, my people. All right, and by a show of hands, any active people pleasers in the room? Let's see. No, of course not. Because, oh, couple, right. But we tend to operate in silence, like ninjas, incognito, because we don't want to be found out. Because the assumption we carry is that we're not good enough. Let's see, any perfectionists in the room? Any? Yeah, always more, of course. Because somehow the society tells us that the perfection is good and we should seek it. But as perfectionists, we know we're terrified of other people's opinions. That's why we keep on freezing and we don't move forward. That's why we don't complete projects. Nor do we take risks. Yeah. All right, let's see. Where are my procrastinators in the room? Oh, yes, always a lot. Why? Because we judge ourselves that we're lazy. But the truth is, we never truly learned how to believe in ourselves. The reason we never start doing things is because we don't believe we really have what it takes to finish it. That's why we never truly start. Now, by a show of hands, let me see how many of us here know their core values. Just a few. And how many of us here, by a show of hands, know what their real inner power is? Just a few. So, we want to have rooms around the world where hands go up to the second set of questions, not only the first. It is time to know what's right with us. In school, we are taught how to communicate and understand. We are taught how to understand maths and physics. Great topics, by the way. I still like my bridges to be built out of steel by engineers and not hopes and dreams by life coaches. But what about learning about the physics of our mind? What about learning how to consciously build our identities? We learn about our livers, but we never learn how to choose our thoughts. We learn about our kidneys, but we never learn how to understand our core beliefs that shape every single experience in our life. We are taught to communicate to each other, to other species, even to aliens. And I think that's amazing. But what about communicating to our own mind? Wouldn't it be amazing to learn about our internal world just as much as we learn about our external world? There has never been a time more important than right now to start learning the skill that they don't teach us in school. How to communicate to ourselves. We live in a world with many bleeding conflicts. We all know them. We feel the pain. And many of us here are affected by it. Those conflicts are started by people. And I'd argue that those people have their hearts at war, a term coined by the Arbinger Institute. Now, those people have access to great forces that could potentially annihilate our world as we know it. We are also giving birth to superintelligence. And we have no idea what we're unleashing. There's no record of the past to tell us what could have happened if this superintelligence falls into the hand of people who have their hearts at war. So when we learn how to communicate with ourselves, we learn how to nurture our hearts to be at peace, so that collectively, together, we have a better chance at preserving our beautiful world. After all, being human can be so much fun. What would your life look like if you were always aware of your value, clear on your life mission, feel connected to yourself and others, always listening to yourself with empathy and kindness, always speaking to yourself in an encouraging manner, and always cheering yourself on along your life journey, no matter what? What could be possible in your life? And finally, when we learn how to communicate to ourselves, we remember and we realize our childhood dreams. As a kid, I had a dream. When I was about 6, 7, my role model was Valentina Tereshkova, the first woman astronaut in space, and I wanted to be an astronaut. Who am I kidding? I'm still that girl, dreaming, yeah. And as I'm saying this, I'm realizing it's never too late to realize your childhood dream, is it? Oh, what about if I realize my childhood dream tonight, right here? What do you guys say? Amazing. Are you sure? Would you help me? Would you help me launch me into space? Amazing. All right, let's do it. So here is what I need from you. You allow me a couple of seconds. I will get into the capsule on top of the rocket and allow me a couple of moments to settle in my seat. And once I do that, I will give you the command, start. And when I do that, you go and count down from 5 to 1, and then together shout, lift off. Is it clear? All right, great. So I'm getting into my capsule. There we go, at top of the rocket. Whew. All right, settling into my seat. Let me strap myself in. Give me a couple of seconds to settle. Okay, what am I feeling? What am I feeling? Why am I feeling fearful? This is crazy. Okay, slow down. Deep a breath in, breath out. Let me check in with my inner leader. Hey, who are you talking to? I'm talking to you, my inner leader. Oh, okay, what's up? I am here about to realize my childhood dream and I'm fearful. What is going on? Whoa, you're okay. Don't worry about it. You absolutely got this. After everything you've gone through life, you are going to be okay. Are you sure? Of course I'm sure. Okay, let's go. Start. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lift off.
Here comes the sun. Here comes the sun. I say it's all